Hey everybody, it's good to see you all again. This segment is just to kind of let you guys know what is going on in this episode. So, in this episode, there is a situation. Towards the end, or anywhere in this episode, there is a blank. That means there's no sound coming in the episode, and you might think that is your fault. That is my fault. You can blame me, say it was my fault, because that is an editing problem, and that's because of recording and the recording platform that I use. If that happens to be in the episode, if that's in it, what you need to do is to just disregard it. Don't worry about it. Consider it like an ad break. Consider it like a break. Consider it like we're taking a 5 minute break. Consider it like that. So, no freaking out. No need to worry. Make sure you guys enjoy the episode, enjoy what's in it, and y'all have a good one. And enjoy this one. Really enjoy it and have fun. And please disregard the blanks in there. Consider them breaks. Hope you guys enjoy this episode and thank you guys for understanding and for your cooperation.
Oh yeah, he listened. Oh shit, he's loud. Yeah, he listened to me. Hey everybody, welcome to another one. This is Parlor, and yes, if you're wondering, that's actually the name. I'm sure you guys know of lots of parlors. I grew up knowing of the British version of parlors from history class. I learned about the British parlors as like saloons or salons or just a place to hang out. So anyway, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you.
Thanks for having me, man. Really appreciate your time. And yeah, I've been checking out the podcast, and there's a whole bunch of artists on here that are doing great things. So stoked to be amongst the lot of wonderful talent coming out right now.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And you got a lot going on your plate. So I want to firstly point out that you have a huge party coming up in 3 days. This Saturday you have a huge party coming. Um, which you put a link on its Instagram for. It's I think you sign up from Facebook or from another link, I think. But it's a hip hop house party, which is very exciting. It's gonna feature tons of artists, and um, if you guys listen to Scott's interview, Scott's gonna be there too.
Yeah, Scotty's headlining. He's just released an EP called Mixed Bag. That's a pretty awesome mix of songs. Like he ended up spending like a good like 4 or 5 months out of everyone's territory and just like stayed in his house and made this like really well recorded EP. It floored me quite a lot because I met Scott when he started just doing the rap thing with his other show, and he like somehow churned out a whole bunch of music in a really quick amount of time, and he did it all himself, like mastered and recorded and made all the instrumentals too. Like it's a underrated piece of work coming out this year from our local scene over here in Brisbane, Australia. But yeah, he's going to be celebrating the release of that alongside another like local up and coming legend called Jazz, and he's just released an EP too. But he's super. Jazz is like really prolific. He releases like 3 or 4 EPs a year, I like the minimum. So he's like, it's just like another day of the week for him, pretty much. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna be opening up the party at 4 p.m. I've been working on the rap project now for a few years. Like I always had like a huge interest in it from the get-go, and so I guess like the interest like gravitates you towards the want to do it. But I played a show probably about like 3, maybe even like 3.5 years ago as my debut show, and I did one more after that, and then I just like stopped for ages until I found like a satisfactory sort of like desire to like launch back into it, because you don't want to do things half stepping and you want to go forward with as much as you can. So I'm finally coming back onto the scene after several years of procrastinating, for lack of a better word. And yeah, very excited to be opening up. Like, there's a lot of really good, talented artists on that array. If you just look at the poster, like, there's a ton of artists that are putting in really good work. So I'm pretty honored to be opening up for a really fun house party, and like a fucking house party. What else could you ask for? It's just a good excuse to hang out anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it looks so fun. I saw your post. I saw you posted something really fun. Some pictures of you
Yeah.
getting ready for the show. You look really happy. Especially the video you
Yeah, I do. I
posted.
do a cover.
Like you're dancing
I
all
do a
around.
cover. Do you know the song, right?
Oh yeah, I've heard it a bunch of times.
Yeah, good. It's I wrote that song like years ago when I was doing my first show, and like I wrote to the whole like 7-minute version of that song, and I was like showing to Scott. I've like performed it live before. It's like the whole like 7-minute version. He's like, "God damn, dude, you got to cut this down." So the audience will be experiencing like the refined like 3-minute version of that like parentheses cover, so to speak. So I'm pretty keen for it. It's gonna be like somewhat short, probably like 25 minutes or whatever. But you don't want to bore the audience. You want to only bring out like good shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. But my God, telling from what you have planned, you're gonna be hyping them up probably until 5 a.m.
Yeah, we got an open mic from like after all the end rappers finish. Have you heard of an artist called Mark Rabier or Mark Ribellet? That's how it's like phonetically spelled, I suppose.
I have not heard. That's one that does not come to me.
He's an American guy. He was on Kenny Beats the Cave like a while ago now, like probably over a year. But he got really big during lockdown because he is like a looping artist, and he does like live looping with a keyboard. He's a fantastic musician, and he's also like pretty funny too. So he has like that to go with him. So he's like a triple threat. He's really talented, good singer, and like really funny. And so he like started like doing all these shows in the US when they were starting to do shows again, but like in drive-ins, and he live streamed them all. And some of his live streams when he was in lockdown got like really huge, and he ended up getting like Erica Badu to do some collabs with him on stage, and like Reggie Watts and other kind of like really interesting artists. And like Reggie Watts is like a loop master in his own. So like he uses this machine called the RC505, and like I picked one up because I was like, oh yeah, I can splurge on that today. It's like so expensive. It's a big regret, but so I spent a lot of money on this one piece of equipment. So I'm gonna bring out like at least one like interesting looping thing, because I like do beatboxing as well. So I thought like I might as well try to utilize it. And so I do like a beatbox cover, and I do a beatbox like this loop rap thing on that too. So after I do my performance at 4 p.m., I'm gonna be doing like a like looping thing in the end too. So that's gonna be fun.
Oh, so exciting, so exciting. I wish now I wish I could go now. Like I really wish I could. That would be like days of just traveling, and by then the party will be over, and that's just a plane ride wasted.
Man, the plane ride is so long. I don't even think it's like worth it unless you're staying here to have fun for like a good month or two. That's the problem with Australia. Do you know your band called Injury Reserve? Have you heard of them? They're from Texas.
I do not. I've not. That does not come to my mind either.
They're hectic. They're really sick. They've been on the. Oh, actually, no. So they're from Arizona. They're from Phoenix. Sorry, too many states. They're from Phoenix, Arizona. And yeah, they're crazy. But they're performing in Brizzy on of my city on Wednesday. So I'm stoked as to be catching them, because like I saw them on their last trip, and that's when they were a 3-piece. But one of their band members unfortunately passed away. So now it's just a duo. So we're going to be seeing them perform there. But if you haven't checked them out, yeah, check out Injury Reserve. They're like crazy underground hip hop. They do awesome things. The latest album's pretty contemporary, but it's it's worth listening to help define like the modern genres of hip hop, I suppose. Like it really sets the next boundary for artists to get towards. I think in my mind.
Oh, cool. Thanks for the recommendation. I'm definitely gonna check it out now. I'm definitely putting it on my list. For sure. And something really exciting is happening. You have an EP yourself that's coming. That's dropping soon. That's so exciting.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. This EP's been in the works for a few years, since like 2020, and I work with for the like 95% of this EP has been produced with an artist called Soft Nylon, who I've been really close friends with for the past like 5 years, and I met him through the scene. And I actually met him like in this really like crazy happenstance that I started to learn how to produce using Ableton, and I wanted to do like a production course, and so they offer production courses all over. And so this one I wanted to do was like kind of like an hour and a half away from my house. So I said, yeah, I'll make the trip down. I'll do it. It's like a 6-week course. So I do this like every like Monday. And so I drive down to this course, and I get there. I get to my classroom, and there's no one there. So I wait around for like 15, 20 minutes, and like this whole class rocks up. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Like this was started like ages ago. And the lecturer goes, oh, sorry, that class was cancelled. There was not enough people who were interested in it. And so I was like, no one told me. I paid the money. And so I ended up sitting in on this class, and I just like they were talking about like music management, and then like helping to get like artists to succeed and whatever, and like get your own kind of work to succeed. And so I finished that class. I was like, well, that was fun, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do. And then I see in the corner was like my friend Dylan, who's Soft Nylon, and Dylan's been playing in bands for years, and I've been following his bands for ages. And so I just like we like ended up like linking up, and he said, oh, if you want to learn how to like produce, just come down to my place, which was also an hour and a half away from me. So like I just like drove down, and I had like the intention of learning, but we just ended up like making tracks like from get-go. And I love to write lyrics, but oftentimes my lyrics don't really match up with the music I'm making, or like it takes me a while to find the song that I wanted. But me and him, we just like the minute we got in, we just like pretty much got the tracks down and started making music together and like writing on the day. So everything that comes out of like the songs that we've made together and like from this EP is really organic, and it comes with a rebounding energy that is, I hope, apparent throughout. And it takes a lot of dips and dives. Currently, I think it's about seven tracks long, and a remix done by Scott himself. And Scott features on one of the songs that I had actually finished, and it had like a really long instrumental outro in the end. I was gonna have it as like my last track. It's like a bit of a statement piece, but he's like, oh no, I'll fit on this, and he does a really good verse on that one too. And yeah, it's gonna be coming out. Tentative date is August 19th, and I have already booked the thing. That's why it's coming out August 19th, is I have a show booked for August 26th. So I've set it a little bit enough in the future for a leeway in case I got to make any changes, but it's pretty much all mixed and mastered. But we're recording one more song next week, and so depending on how that song comes out, then yeah, we'll see if it comes out then. But we've had a good track record so far, so yeah, looking forward to it. The EP also doesn't have a name yet, but you know, like, what's good press without a good amount of suspense? Hey,
I like the suspense. That is a good amount. I'm on the edge of my seat now. What's the name? Like, I'm on the edge of my seat now.
that's the question I'm asking myself.
What's the whole vibe of the EP? You know, maybe this interview will help with the name. What's the whole vibe of the EP? Like, what are we gonna feel listening to it?
Good question. The EP in its own right has been made over like now several years. Like we started recording like really early 2020 when I still used to work at an airport, and that closed down. So I do IT now, which is fun. So the EPs came out from a long time because I needed that time to develop as an artist for one thing, but it also takes a long time. It took a long time to make, because even after I recorded my debut song "Take Time," I had like a lot of issues with anxiety and like coming to grips with like being in public face beyond just like, I do a radio show here in Brisbane called Emerge that I've been on for like 5 years. So I don't have an issue with like public speaking or anything, but like public presence is another idea. And so like the songs are really in my own mind very very intimate and very personal. And so like releasing that out to the wider world, especially when you're in your own mind like not as collected as you'd like to be to release those songs, like it honestly took like it was a year before I released my second track, because the debut track was like so honest and so it was so much a part of me that it honestly took that long to really want to be able to push out the other one. And like I recorded that song like 2 months after, and so everything I've done on that EP is an intimate reflection of my musical journey over the past 2 years that has taken me through ups and downs, and it's pretty much just like a whole documentation of that period. You know, self-reflection and boisterous rap, and reflections about society and reflections about you know, the future as well, like, you know, who I want to be, what do I want to see in myself in the future. And so a lot of it can be like that intimate side of like the lower paced songs that you might find like Take Time and Old Boy, but then I have songs like www dot, which is like just like balls to the wall, like all there, like I'm just going hard on a beat, just because I'm like finally ready to like say, yeah, fuck off everybody, I'm here to make music. And yeah, I got like other songs like Push On, which was like recorded in a time when like bushfires were really ravaging the country, and I felt like really upset about like the lack of care from our prime minister. And I got like a remix from Scott on there that he's like really redone the track to. And yeah, a song I haven't even recorded yet that I'm planning on putting on there too. I also have a song that's like from a number of years ago that I produced and I recorded with a local rapper who actually like just got signed. And so it's caused like a bit of like, I'm not too sure if I can still put this out, whatever, but I'm gonna sneak it in there anyway. That's really fun. It's called Spinning, and he's fucking awesome on it. It's like one of the first songs I like recorded myself, and I do a good job. I do a good enough job that like I like the song, but he's fucking awesome on it. So I got a couple like features on that EP that are gonna really compliment it too. So I guess like, sorry, I did a long-winded answer of that, but what people can expect from it is a multitude of experiences over the past 2 years that you can follow with me to have a really fun and concise but impactful musical journey.
There's no such thing as a long-winded answer. You definitely understood the assignment for sure. Oh my god, please, no.
I wasn't too good at school.
Please, no. If anyone, like, I am, like, man, when I am.
Yeah.
For sure.
Can I
yeah, what's up?
Wrap it out. You have been really dedicated. Like, you're like searching out lots of artists, and like I don't even know how you connected with Scott. I know Scott likes to put himself out there, but like sprawling between scenes, like you're ultimately covering a huge span of the hip hop scene coming from around the world. What like really inspired you to want to document this in not just like an easy fashion, like you're going out of your way to really find these artists? What made you want to like push yourself to a point where you're seeking out artists from all over the world?
Good question. So 2 years ago, my job closed down because of COVID. My job closed down, so I could not go back to work. And I was bored at home. I couldn't do anything. I was getting paid though, but I couldn't go anywhere. And then I was having this conversation with my friend who's a songwriter, and we were just going back and forth. And I guess I was just talking, and I just sputtered out um, a talk show. I just sputtered it out. I was like, oh my god, like I was joking at the time, like it can't happen. And in the beginning, it was a joke. It was a joke. I made my first interview in August, and it was a joke. And then people liked it, and then I just kept going as like kind of like a gag. Let's just see what will happen. And then a year passes, and now I just keep going. And in the beginning, it was supposed to be a hip hop podcast, which a lot of people don't know.
You have lots of different
Oh
artists
yeah,
on the show, though.
it was supposed to be hip hop. But then my friend was like, "You should check out this singer," and I checked her out, and she was really fantastic. And she doesn't have a lot of following on Instagram, and I was like, I feel really bad for her. Like, she should have more. She's so underrated. And I figured, hey, let me just go put on the show and see how I am with different music. And it was really fantastic to try something new. It's fantastic to try something new, and I figured instead of just helping hip hop, I should help out every single aspect of music. Because everybody deserves an equal playing field. Everybody deserves an equal playing field. So, um, you know, almost nearing in 2 years and helping out all these musicians has really helped me too. I'm a songwriter too, so that was also part of the reason why I started was to also gain more knowledge for my own, self being. So,
And then what's the biggest thing you've learned from doing the
I've
podcast?
definitely learned a lot about my character, a lot about who I am. You know, 2 years ago, I used to tutor. I used to attend long classes to help kids. Um, you know, and now it's like I do that still. Like I'm back and everything, but now I've learned a lot just about just being social, being in different social environments, and also just learning how to be with others is something that I never really got to learn from my job. I was just stuck in like the one classroom like all day. I never got to be social. So definitely helped me with my social, and this has really helped me to just relax, to just live life, the way I wanted to, and it's really helped a whole bunch.
That's great. Well, thanks for answering the question. It's a great project, so I'm glad that you're keeping up with it after almost
Yeah,
two
of
years.
course, of course. I'm absolutely in love with it, and though I do everybody else now, I think Wrap It Out really fits for me. There's no other show like it. Trust me. I've seen people try to search
Well,
it.
like even still, hip hop like spans so many genres nowadays that it's impossible to really put it down to a category. Like he can involve so much more. And like you can be damn certain that pretty much all the artists you've interviewed on the show have been influenced by hip hop music in some
Oh
way.
yeah, for sure, and you're right. It's hard to just put it like that because you're right. It's a lot of hip hop artists are now expanding into different genres and trying a lot of new stuff, and it's hard to just do just a hip hop show because now I'll be generic.
Yeah.
I would just be someone generic. I'd be one of those overrated, not overrated. Ugh, what is the word? I'm trying to think. Kind of like those lame hip hop shows that only get like 5 views. Like I'd be one of those.
You're
Yeah,
just talking
just
about an
another
ordinary
ordinary.
podcast.
That's
Yeah.
also why I wanted to
Oh,
just get out of that so that I could really stand out. So that I'm not just the podcast that just does rappers. Like I'm the podcast that accepts everybody and accepts everyone globally.
Yeah, well, it's. I think like even if people get a chance to hear about like what's coming out from different scenes, like I've seen a couple of YouTube compilations being like, for example, like drill music came out really heavy in the 2020s and 2021 as well. Like that really exploded past like Chicago and into New York and then to UK and then to Australia, and then like you hear places like Latvia and Spain and France like all doing like interpretations of this, and because the genre was so popular that people and it also had a lot of internet recognition, like the two of this coalesced into being like a perfect situation for people who were doing that music at that time, and it actually made like a really big global connection between them, and the blurred lines between borders starts to like really fall down, because of course like you want to go out and you want to support your local artists and you want to see that, but like if you can hear about like something that someone's doing underground from another country like ages away from you, even if they don't even speak your language, uh, like and they could have an influence on you and what you're doing because they've interpreted something that you might have in common because Spotify is so sprawling. I got really inspired by a track by CEO at business.net and Baby No Money. Really recently, on my latest track I released, I was asked to do a remix from a local record label called 4000 Records, who do like the Lord's work. Not just like they put out like vinyl and cassette of local artists, and like for our scene, like that's pretty big because there's not too many people doing that. So this guy called John Russell, he runs 4000 Records, and he like does so much for everyone and like supports shows and like does festivals and books acts and whatever, but he also like manages and whilst doing a full-time job. It's crazy. And so he has like such a big passion for the local scene that he's not only done this modern stuff, but he's also got up online this thing called Brisbane Music Graveyard. And like our city for music is quite interesting because we had like a really oppressive government. Well, hard to say when that at the same time there's apartheid going on, but like we had a pretty oppressive government back in the 1980s under this one and 70s from this one leader called Joe Bjorky Peterson, and he like kind of like it was so against like music, and like the whole government was entirely corrupt. The entire government was like deposed in the 80s because they had been linked to like illegal gambling halls and brothels and lots of other like really seedy underground shit that was going on. And so the whole government was ousted, like the Queensland government. And the guy was running for prime minister at the time too, Joe Bjorky Peterson. And he has gone back and he's found like all these uncovered tapes from these artists that didn't get to be heard because of this oppressive government that didn't allow for live scene to flourish, because they had cops raiding all these punk venues. They had cops raiding like anyone that looked different to the normal people. And so he's gone back and he's preserved all these ones, and he's put like this whole catalog of like hundreds of Brisbane music artists online for people to listen to. And like not many people listen to that. Not many people have heard about that. But if anyone wants to look for it, he's made like a really niche place for that. And so there's people in this city that really care about that because they've come from that sort of environment. And it's really cool. And so like at the end of the day, if someone wants to hear what Brisbane sounded like in the 1990s, like few people will ask that question. But if they do, there are people out here that are doing stuff like that. And I think, if someone were to find an influence from that, for example, we had a band called The Saints in the 1970s who were really inspired by the Detroit band Iggy Pop and the Stooges. Like really heavy. And they actually made the first ever punk single to come out outside of the US. So before the Sex Pistols and like before the Damned and before like the Clash, a Brisbane band was like the first band outside the US to put out a punk single, and they were before the Ramones as well. And so like, but because like we don't really have much going for our city, or like maybe like no one will really know that story. but it's still a cool story in the day, I suppose. Like, anyway, I went on a tangent, but yeah, I think like connecting scenes together is a really cool
for
idea.
sure. And thank you so much for the tangent. And for really sharing that. A lot of people needed to hear that. They love personal stories. And they love stories that really connect to them. So, thanks for sharing that. It doesn't really bother me how long it is. It could be 5 hours. It's so worth it. Just to hear such wisdom.
Oh, that's good news then. I probably should be talking about my music a little bit more, but I get excited about other music quite a lot, so it's hard to contain that
Hey, it's no
excitement, I suppose.
problem. It's about you, so it's whatever you enjoy. If you enjoy talking about other people, hey, that is you. Like that is you. You don't need to be bounded by just one way to talk about it. It's whatever way you want.
Musically, you're breaking my shackles right now. Thank you so much.
Hey, it's no problem. And secret. That's also where my name came from too. So. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Like if you break one of my friends actually did this, and I'm grateful he did. He broke my name in half, and so on
Oh,
platforms
to
when they
make
ask for my
musically.
first and
Okay.
last name, I just break my name in half, and it's Music Ally. Ally as
Oh.
in a partner, like partner in music.
Ah. Bro, I'm so upset at myself for not seeing it as Music Ally.
Hey, I was
I'm so
upset
upset.
too. I didn't see that until last year. I was like, because on platforms,
Oh. No, I
what?
I have something worse than that. When I was like 14, 15, I was like old. I was grown. I should have known this. But like every single thing, like every single business that I saw around here, they always have like EST like 1915 or whatever. So like they were established in 1915 and they're still a business celebrating 100 years, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And so like I went down to Sydney with my family, and like we were walking by like the most beautiful spot you can be in Sydney. Like if I'm not too sure if you know the city at all, but like in Circular Quay, you can like look to your right and you see the Sydney Opera House, and then you look to your left and you see the Sydney Harbour Bridge. It's just like it's fucking beautiful. Um, and we're walking past this restaurant that's like super luxe, and it says like EST 2014. I'm like, why do they have to estimate that they were made in 2014? Can't they just say that they were made in 2014? Because for the longest time, I thought that like EST meant
Oh
that they were
God!
estimated to have been formed in that year instead of like established. And I was like, and then my whole family was like, looked at me and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so I was like, wait, what? And so I was like grown, but until the time I knew that, and that's something I would like. I'm a fucking fucking dickhead.
Oh God! Okay.
But yeah, that's like I don't know. You got to make those connections somehow.
True,
You got to have
true.
those embarrassing stories.
I'm sorry, but that is embarrassing.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah. I know
my
you're cringing
God!
right now.
How could
I
you
know you're cringing
not
right
pull
now.
pieces? Why would they put estimate 1915 or estimate 2000?
Well, it's because I always saw that they were older businesses, and so I thought like, oh, of course they got like modern roots now. Like they want to say like, yeah, we herald back to these days. So we were established in like 1888, or like estimated built in 1888. Because I'm like, oh yeah, like like in essence, I was in the right place. Like they estimated they were made in that time. But for me, I just like never made the connection because no one would ever say estimated establishment in 2014. I was like, that's dumb. So they always just said established like older. And so I always thought, I was like, why would you ever say like a modern generation was estimated to have built in this time? So it was like my heart
Yeah.
was in the right place, but my brain just wasn't. It's just something like it's like one of those dumb things you accept in your mind for the longest time until you realize, oh, that was just dumb.
Oh.
Or like passive perception, I suppose. It's like one of those things you don't look at until it's
Yeah,
right in
for
front of you
sure.
nowadays.
But hey,
let's get on to some more questions,
Yeah.
shall we?
Hey, that made my day. It's early in my time, but that made my day. At least so far it is.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I hope your day
I
keeps
hope
getting
so.
better after
Like,
that.
I'm not used to getting up. I don't usually do interviews in the morning. I usually do them like at night or in the afternoon, but it's summer, and so I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna set the time for like this morning to like, this just so it's enough time just for somebody to just schedule in, just enough time for me, more people on the show, I guess. You
Well,
gonna
that's
ask
very
me?
nice of you.
Oh.
I said that's very nice of you to
Yeah.
accommodate.
Well, you gotta accommodate. That's every podcaster. A lot of people, a lot of them don't really understand. Like, you can't just set a standard time. I've been invited to shows, and all they would put it's 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. What am I supposed to know? What is that? Like, and what am I supposed to know? What is that? Like, the Central Time, Eastern, Pacific, Mountain Time. Excuse me.
And then it makes it worse,
I
like daylight
hate daylight
savings as well,
savings.
because like in Qu- in He- yeah, in Queensland we don't do it, and so anytime you go to a different state in Australia, we just like fuck ourselves because we're just like nah. I don't know, like I always for some reason find I used to find I love afternoons now because I usually leave work at about like 3 p.m. I work at schools, so I get like an easy like clock off. But every time it got to like a certain point in the afternoon when I was a teenager, I used to get like really kind of like concerned because like, oh, it's about to be out late, and like I never used to be out late when I was a kid because I used to live kind of far away from the city. So if I was in the afternoon, and it was getting late, I'd be like walking home in the dark and like going through the neighborhood like that, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do that again. So it like afternoons used to cause me like a little bit of anxiety, but now they just look beautiful. Now I have a car, so I don't have to worry about
Sure.
it.
For
Anyways.
sure. Good. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I like afternoons too. Like, I'm not used to waking up in the morning. I do part time work. I'm not used to it in the morning. So you really got me up.
Hmm. Go and get them after this. Hey, Music
Yeah.
Ally, go get them after this morning. It's almost 12 o'clock in my
What the hell are you
town
doing?
right now.
Why are
And
you?
I'm a bit of a late liver anyway. I love staying up late. I feel like like you wake up in the morning and like I don't wake up in the morning. I skip breakfast every single day. I don't think I've had breakfast for like 2 weeks. And I have a lovely lunch. And then I finish in the afternoon. So by the time the afternoon finishes, like I'm awake and I'm ready to go for the rest of my endeavors. Because I do love my project parlor, but I have a lot of other projects in the works as well. So a lot of the time I spend after work, I need that like extra energy that you would spend, say, like in the morning. And like I don't want to wake up at like 6 a.m. and like read a book. Like I'd like to do that in the evening and like read for like 2 hours, and then like your consequences you make with your own time, but like you have so much more affordance and freedom with later time than I find in the mornings, unless you are doing like alternative working methods. In the evening, you aside from like noise, there's a lot more freedom. I live next to a 24-hour supermarket. I can go shop anytime I want to. If I want to like be up at 3 a.m. and make like a beautiful carbonara, then I will. But like nah. But like the freedom is there. And I find that freedom really liberating, and it's really it's good for my soul, I think. And so as much as it's like 12 o'clock at night right now and like I got work tomorrow, like I'm gonna be up till later because like there's more things I'd like to do tonight than just
Oh yeah, for
the
sure,
routine,
for
I
sure.
suppose.
Yeah, I don't blame you. If I got to Well, down here we have 7-Eleven, which if you visit the States, you have to visit 7-Eleven. It's like the one place you can't complete a trip without. If I lived near 7-Eleven 24 hours, I would definitely do it too.
We have like service stations at a 7-Elevens, but like very few places in Brisbane are actual just genuine 7-Elevens that are there for everything. And the other thing is that in Australia we have bottle stores, so you can't just go like buy a drink from the supermarket. You got to go to a bottle store, and they like all close at like 9 o'clock or something like that. And like I'm smoking a tobacco vape right now. These are illegal in here, but there's like a ton of underground stores that sell them all around the area, and there's one like near my house, so I go there if I want to get something because I'm trying to stop smoking cigarettes, and I just pump out a vape, which is no better, but I don't smell as much, and I can smoke wherever I want now. So yeah, again, freedom, luxury and freedom. Hey, I guess I'm loving the I guess I'm loving the
Oh
amendment
God,
in America now. Freedom
God,
for all, equality, etc.
it's like you're
Sorry, I'm
living
spilling.
in that
I'm sure you have many more questions
amendment.
for me.
Oh God, it's like you're living it. But earlier you.
I'm living it up.
I do have to ask you one about your radio show because you mentioned earlier briefly that you do one, and I'm just curious to know, like where did that start from?
Yeah.
Like you briefly mentioned, I was like, that can't be happening. Where the whole project come from?
So I did media and communications at university, and I dropped out after almost completing it. I went to Europe as a fool, and I didn't unenroll for my subjects, and I got like 4 fails basically, and my GPA just got fucked up. So I was like, I'm quitting uni after that. I don't want to come back and try to resurrect my good GPA to do this. I hate uni. I don't want to do this anymore. So I quit uni. Bad decision. I wish I was so close. I should have just finished it off. It's too late for me to finish it off now. It's been too long. Anyways, that's my regrets. But I went to school with a guy who was a year above me, and I learned a lot from the degree in like journalism. I loved it, and I said in the degree, I was like, I want to do music journalism as like at least for like to get into journalism, at least to like to enjoy it. And he studied out at a university, which is a little while away. It's like probably like an hour drive away from Brizzy. And we ended up becoming friends because I moved in with some people that he was like really good friends with, and he'd just come over and he'd bring like records, and we'd chill out, and we'd just talk about music, and we ended up like connecting over like a lot of local bands from the scene, specifically like one called Youth Climb Blue, and they're awesome. They ended up recording up in LA for their one album they ever did, and they actually had Green Day's horn section for them to record one of the songs. So that's a little cool little niche thing. But yeah, we started recording out of the university in 2017, and they had like the state of art studios, like Shure SM7Bs, I'm pretty sure is the name of the microphone, and like full like radio studios that he was working in. And I wasn't a student, but he just said like, hey, can you come on the show? Because we record like outside of university hours. And they said, yeah, sure. And so I joined the show 5 years ago now. And we just kept going with it. We loved it. And so we got like really involved in the scene. We like at the time we were both like 19, 20. So we were going out to like a ton of shows. And Brisbane's really interesting. I was mentioning before, like the corrupt government, they had this like whole like nightlife precinct set up for like gambling and drinking and sex and prostitution and this thing called Fortitude Valley. And it's kind of still like that. But after the government was deposed and like the criminal underground they had in the city, they actually had a lot of like buildings open for people to begin to lease. And because there wasn't that much infrastructure around there, it was still pretty awesome for a nightlife precinct. And so a lot of the old buildings that people had for clubs out there, but that had like criminal connotation to them, soon turned into like a nightlife precinct. And in the early 2000s, it was designated by the Queensland government to maintain as a nightlife precinct, which is a little bit uncertain now because there's a lot of people that live there because it's super close to the main central business district. But it's a really cool area called Fortitude Valley, and they have like 20 music venues in that space that you can all walk to in the one walk. And they have a really cool festival here called Big Sound, and they have like 300 artists from across Australia and sometimes internationally, but mostly Australia, and they all perform in different venues around Fortitude Valley, and they showcase to like the execs of the Australian music industry. And so we were given this really good opportunity to go out and like experience the city in an awesome way because we're young. We had like not that much responsibility, so we could just like go out see gigs. And so we kept going out seeing gigs. We met people there, say like, "Oh, we're doing a radio show. Do you guys want to like come on the show?" And so these bands like drive an hour out to come see us. But we do an interview, do like a live show. And so until like 2020, we had that live show going every Monday night, 7 to 9 p.m. And it still does. But then COVID hit, and we were like, fuck, what do we do? So we started like, we just bought like the same equipment because it's like, you know, mics can be like expensive, but by that time, like we'd been so invested, we'd be like, we might as well just like make the splurge and like do it. Now we live together, and now we record the radio show in-house. And we also use Anchor. Like I saw Anchor was released like a month after it was announced, and we jumped on it straight away, and it like completely changed our show for the better. And so we put all our episodes out now on Anchor, and we've gotten like way more love and way more people listening to the show because it's in podcast form now. And it's entirely Queensland music. That's like the baseline is just like, it's all Queensland music, it's all local artists, it's all that stuff. Because like we have a federalized radio station called Triple J, and they do all over Australia, and they do a lot of support for the underground scene. They actually have like a subset called Triple J Unearthed where people upload tracks to, and it's like small enough so that people can like still get recognized, but it's big enough that you get like a really big collection of music. But even still then, like a lot of artists wouldn't get like noticed for a long time, or they wouldn't get support. And so we get them on the show, and we'd like talk to them, and we'd support them and be like, oh yeah. And then we'd start getting people like, hey, do you know who can do a gig for us? Or like, hey, do you know where we should play? Hey, do you know anyone who's doing merch? And so we soon just became like this like little bit of a hub for local artists to like come to and attract to. And initially we kind of got like, well, I felt that like we were kind of getting like a good amount of like appreciation, but like we've been around for 5 years and we've only got like 1,800 followers on Facebook. So like not a good growth. But every single person that like listens to the show and every person that comes on the show is a fan of the show, and they all like listen in that little circle. So we've kind of like created like a little bit of like a cultural sphere around that. If that's like a bit of an overstatement, but like it's a good way to surmise it. So we've created like a little bit of a hub around the music scene, and it just like informs people each week about like what's going on, what's happening. I do like music news every week as well, let people know what's like happening internationally and stuff. So yeah, it's a cool show. It's called Emerge, and I'm dubious if any of your listeners would like want to listen to it. I'm pretty sure anyone that's listening to me now knows of it because I've been on it for so long. But like, yeah, I think underground media and doing it yourself is a really great way to start getting involved in the scene. And like, I wouldn't have made music unless I had started with the radio show. So like, I owe all of what I do now.
Congratulations!
To the show anyway.
That's really incredible. Yeah, props to the radio show. I gotta check it out. Sorry I don't know about it then, but I know now about it, and I will definitely make it like part of like my watch list or something at least to look forward to.
Well, I met like Scott, for example, through that, and like there's a ton of like diverse artists coming out from here. I got like a wall of posters like you can't see from here. I got a Mac, so I can't like turn it around or anything, but like, yeah, there's like a ton of like really sick artists coming out, and a lot of them probably won't get heard overseas by many people, but because we have fortunately like a really big music culture in Brisbane from Fortitude Valley. Like the ultimate product is really good for the amount of people that live here. Like there's some really world-class artists coming out from the scene, and like even like sometimes media too. Like you guys in America just like have the most insane production quality on shows and artists and media too. But almost all the stuff that is done here, because of so much government funding, is like done by just people who want to make shit heard. And at the end of the day, we know our audience is really small, but we still put like 110% effort into it because we want to make our friends like that shit too. So yeah, there's like an insane level of quality coming out from Brisbane especially, but like yeah, like Tame Impala came from Perth, King Gizzard came from Melbourne, Nick Cave came from Melbourne, Sydney's got like Guy Sebastian. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of cool shit happening here in Australia, and you can get really invested into it. And I hope you do. I hope you if you do follow the show, like you find a lot of your favorite artists. We actually like help surmise it because we do this like countdown at the end of the year. We do like a playlist and a show of like our top like 60 tracks of the year that came out. So like if you just like want to skip like right to the fucking best part of it, like you can do that and you can just like listen to like our favorite tracks that have ever come out from the scene at the time. So yeah, it's a fun project, and I can't wait to keep doing it alongside the music.
I had no idea. I've only interviewed I've only interviewed 2, 3, 4 people from Australia. I never realized how diverse you guys are. Wow, that opened my eyes.
Well, there's one. If I can recommend one song right now. Wait. Who do you like to listen to? If I can recommend an artist, I'd like to get something that you would like.
Well, I'm good with all. The only genre that I'm very
well, actually, sorry, I should refine it. Give me a couple of artists that you're really liking right now. That makes it a little bit easier, I suppose.
Oh God, it's a long list. I like. It's a long list. Oh God. I'm liking Kendrick Lamar again. I'm really liking 80s music again. Since 2 of my favorite artists from the 80s are back with new albums, I'm so happy and excited. Let me see. I'm starting to like R&B again. I like Summer Walker. I like Jasmine Sullivan. Silk Sonic. I love. Let's see. Pop will always be there with me. I've been listening to pop for a long time. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty fine with almost every genre. The only one that is tricky is country. It's hard for me to listen to it unless it's like...
Yeah, that's okay. I'm the same with you, my friend. Don't worry. There's like I like a few country tracks here and there. This depends on like the essence they're coming from. But if I got to recommend like one track that's coming out right now, is a band called Dizzy Days, and Dizzy's like 2 Z's and then Days, Dizzy Days, and they got a song out called Take My Heart, which is like sounds like Dua Lipa, and it's like the production quality is like crazy on it, and it's a local band, and they're just like killing it right now, doing really well. Another similar contemporary to them is a band called Wigs, Wiigz. I got a poster of them on my fucking wall, and they do like very similar kind of like retrospective disco, funk, a singer and like an amazing bassist. But they're produced by really good artists. Like big artists coming out of Queensland right now is an artist called like Psycho, SYCCO. She's like killing it right now. Hope D as well. She's like doing really well. But yeah, we like, you know, we're connected to a lot of different genres here in Brizzy, so you get a lot of everything. Like really good local rappers called SAB, and he's just released an EP called Black Noise. He's fucking awesome. And then like going back to like the Saints and what's her name? The Riptides. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. Collapsia, another really good one I've been loving lately. Yeah. This if you listen to the show, just like listen 1 week and see if you vibe with anything in the tracks. You can like the good thing with Anchor as well is like you can skip past all of our audio and you can just like skip straight to the songs. So yeah, have a listen and see if you vibe any and let me know.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely take a listen. And yeah, just have them reach out to me. I would love to interview more. I would love to interview more Australians. I'll definitely, because so far the most is Canada and the UK. That's the most. I want to level the playing field. It's America, the UK, and Canada is the most right now. I need to equal the playing field.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still a little bit unsure of what's coming out of the UK aside from like drill and punk. Like I do know like aforementioned pop sensation what's it Dua Lipa, of course. But like bringing it back, I gotta eventually talk about like the shit like I'm doing. I'm a huge fan of hip hop. I'm like a big head about like the old school stuff, especially. Like I grew up listening to it. It was so different to like the shit that we heard out here earlier. Lots of like rock music in the early 2000s, which is like I go back and I like now. Like I like Wolf Mother, I like Jet. I even like some Guy with Sebastian songs, and like Shannon Noah has like a treasure in my heart. But like, yeah, there's this one band called Hilltop Hoods, which have like this one really big song called Nosebleed Section, which had like a little bit of international substance, but it's a song from like back in like 2001. Yet that record called The Calling, I have like in my car CD player. I have a 6-track CD player, luckily. But like that's like forever in my car. I've had it in my car since I got that car, and like I can't get it out. It's like really really good hip hop for Australia, and I can't always say that about Australian artists. But these guys, yeah, I can say The Calling's like a fucking awesome record. But like my main like hip hop influences, got to like pull back to like Chance the Rapper back in like 2014 was really big for me because I was going to like high school, and like he was really awesome in like his like production and his style, and Acid Rap is like an awesome album. Action Bronson, huge rapper. I love Fuck That's Delicious. It's a great show. And then like the Far Side, Dr. Dre, UGK, Andre 3000 is like my favorite rapper of all time. I love DJ Shadow and Jay Dilla. DJ Shadow's from the UK, but like the Avalanches is like a contemporary as well. They're a Melbourne band from 2001. If you haven't heard Since I Left You, just a collage piece of samples called I think the genre is called like Record, or like Sample Divers or something. But yeah, that record is crazy. It's like a 3,000 sample album. Yeah, like but like hip hop always pertained to be like my biggest fascination. I remember the moment when I was like 6 years old, I saw MC Hammer on TV, like with You Can't Touch This, and I had to like learn every single word. It was crazy. And then I had this like cool ass job when I was 17, through nepotism, where I like got to just like scan files for ages. So like I would just like remove staples from paper and like organize them in different ways so that like they would have like different files coming up first and like different files later. But they had like thousands of packets of files that were like hundreds of pages deep sometimes. And so I would just like sit there in a room for 8 hours a day, just like scanning paper. And so I thought like, let's make this time a bit more productive. And I found this really awesome list online. I know Rolling Stone just did a list of the top 200 hip hop albums of all time, which is like it has like some of the key players there, but it's not good. Like it's not a good list. It's just like it's just a bit out of whack. But I found this like one really good top 100 hip hop albums of all time. Like when I was young, and I was like, oh yeah, I like this music. I want to listen to it. So I listened to every single album, at least the ones that were available at the time. Like a lot more has become available now, but like I probably listened to at least like 90, 92 out of 100 albums in a list, one after the other, and I made this like fucking banging playlist of all my favorite hip hop songs from that 100 album list. And then, because I was still like using like iTunes or something, or like I was still using Apple Music had like an update, and then it like deleted all of my playlists, and so I lost the whole collection of my favorite hip hop songs from the top 100 hip hop albums, supposedly, of all time. And so then I switched to Spotify the day after, and I was like, "Fuck that!" I'm so mad. But yeah, that's like, I don't know. There's like you could just name a name for a lot of the old school artists, and I probably could give a bit like 2 cents about it, which is kind of weird because I'm from fucking Brisbane, Australia. Like a lot of people out here love hip hop. A lot of people out here really love hip hop, but a lot of people don't like Australian hip hop out here too. You know, our underground scene is like underground for a reason, because like a lot of people do vibe with it, but you either really love it or like you really hate it. And so sometimes when you're walking around, I don't know if you have the same connotation in America, but sometimes like I feel embarrassed to say like I'm a hip hop artist, because I'm really white and I'm from like a city that has a lot of rock music and a lot of like indie rock and whatever. And so I say, oh, I'm a musician. And I say, what type of music? And I say hip hop. And they're like, what? Like, really? Like, yeah, I love it. Like, you know, when you get to a point in your music career and you just like I just breathe it. I just like I make this music because I breathe it, and I don't want to do anything else. I don't think I could do anything else. So one thing else I would want to do is punk, but even then I would like deliver it with hip hop sensibilities. Like it wouldn't be too far akin. And so yeah, I guess it's like a connotation towards like negative trends in Aussie hip hop. There's like a similar fear here, especially with like drill rap and like formerly what was called lad rap out here, where people like kind of like see it as like kind of cringe. But there's a lot of good artists out there now, and a lot of good people who are like showing people that it's not all about that. It's like we have musicality, we have difference to whatever, because you can't replicate hip hop coming from America in a value that is entirely original. Like it's really hard, because it spawns from the environment and from like, for example, the records you can buy out there back like in the early like 2000s or like 90s. Like I couldn't pick up a fucking Dr. Dre record from my record shop like 20 years ago. I'd have to like look for it. Or like if say you go to like your example of Goodwill, like I'd find a bunch of like old rock albums or like a bunch of old like UK albums, a lot of imports coming from there. But I wouldn't find much blues. I wouldn't find much soul, jazz, whatever. I'd find like rock, and then that's what like perpetuated the music scene out here. I wouldn't find like those influences of that old school hip hop kind of trend. So yeah, out here it's coming around
records
now.
has changed a lot for sure.
Musically out.
But yeah, I actually live by one 15 minutes away. I live by one 15 minutes. And it's unbelievable. I found a whole box of records. I was like, oh my god, this can't be real. And it's so surprising that people just like donate. It's crazy.
It's very nice of them. I hope that their second lives get a lot more. I forgot to say as well, like my biggest inspiration ever was like Lupe Fiasco. Like I heard him in like year 11 of schooling, and I was like, he changed my fucking life. And then my first ever Kanye record was Yeezus, and then that really changed things for me too. I got into his like back catalog after that as well. But like, yeah, Lupe and Kanye and Far Side and kind of like, I don't know, like some of the artists take themselves really seriously, but I don't take myself too seriously when I make my music. I think I make like mostly serious music. I'm not that funny, unfortunately enough. So I can't really make like the comedic humor of like say like the Dead Kennedys to do like their punk classics. But I yeah, I try not to take myself like too seriously or anything, because although like I'm talking about like serious topics and my own vulnerability. I'm not a political person. I can't like substantiate the fact that I'm trying to make a song like Lupe, for example. But like I can make I want to make a song like Chance where he's talking about like, yeah, I got fucking high or whatever. Or yeah, just trying to find like relatable things. I find like trying to find like, I don't know if you feel this, but I feel like some of the best songs and stories comes out from like personal experience, and those personal experiences like have to be felt and understood. And like the best ones are really rare. And you know, you have really good storytellers like Slick Rick and his bedtime story that like tells a fucking awesome tale. But he that's from perception. At the end of the day, like I'm always worried like my perceptions are kind of boring, but like my songs are like reflections of time periods that I've been in, and so I try to like ensure that they are a realistic portrayal of myself. I don't want to say anything that I don't really mean, or I don't want to say anything that like I don't truly believe in. So I find it kind of difficult to therefore like write in the first place, because like it's always coming from a place of like personal experience, and I got a ton of fucking stories I can tell as a joke, but like writing something that's both substantial and meaning, that's personal, but also something that an audience can relate to and engage with, is really challenging. But I feel like with the songs I've created recently, I've been able to deliver that fact. I really like my latest song that we released, which was that remix song I was mentioning earlier, Siv Groen's Bookcases remix. And that one's like, you know, about like coming to terms with like a breakup and how you feel afterward, and how you feel about like yourself afterwards as well. It's all like a difficult process of understanding, but also really cathartic when you can get it out on paper. So I hope that the next songs
for
I bring out,
sure,
someone
and
can relate to the
back to
rest
your
of the
earlier
audience.
point about, you know, personal songs. I mean, you can't go wrong. That is the best songs. I mean, that's why the best songs, you know, don't always chart. You know, I've heard songs that don't always chart, but they're the ones that touch the most. Like, those are really the best songs that you and the audience build connection. Like if you make a random song, I mean, who's gonna connect to like a random song about, you know, just something rambling about like who's really gonna connect to that? Like it has, you have to build a connection, you know, in order to just really just have, you know, a nice, you know, not just a nice song, but like just like, you know what I'm saying, like a very successful song.
Yeah, I'd say well, not necessarily successful. I'd say like the most impactful songs come from those reasons, and I feel like I'm not at that stage in my career where I can make music that is necessarily going to be more I don't know, widespread appeal. I don't think I could. I don't think I have that like one thing X factor, or two thing like confidence or like nonchalantness to just like go out and like overstate
She
who I
is so
am.
good.
but like I fucking like love Doja Cat, for example. Like I'm a huge Doja fan. Yeah, she's crazy, and like she can just like rap about like the song that blew her up was "Bitch I'm a Cow," and like that song's like literally about nothing. It's just like a fuck around, but it's a vibe, and but like it's an intense feeling. Even still, like she really like has that confidence and that braggadociousness to like deliver those elements that really make her the worldwide star she is now. And songs like that, for example, the name of the song, yeah, it's just like, yeah, having good sex, man. Like, that's awesome. That's a fucking banger of a song. Gucci Mane like delivers hard on that too. And yeah, I guess I'm not there yet, but ultimately, like I hope like my music experience is cathartic enough where I can help people enjoy as well as contemplate in music, because that's what music does for me. Like I really enjoy what I make, and like I really enjoy the songs I make too. Like I know a lot of artists will finish a song after like listening to it like 20 times, being like, oh, I can't listen to this anymore. It's like I got to throw it out there because I think it's a good song, but like I honestly is like I'm kind of sick of it too. Like nah, like because I work with a producer I really love. I love his work, and I resonate with I resonate with my own lyrics. I like to listen to my music, and I really enjoy hearing it back and like learning where I can build and what I'm covering on and how I can balance it out with the rest of the piece. So that's partially why I've really enjoyed taking my time with this EP, because like I've been able to go through the ebbs and flows of different experiences, recount them, and then help like cover a lot of ground on where I want the EP to go from there. So I feel like if I was trying to pump it out really quickly, say if I were to do an EP over this next month, if I were to like cancel all my plans or whatever, be like, yeah, just pump one out. I'm sure I could come up with like some good things, but I don't think I would want to listen to them as much as I have to the other songs that I have made before. And I guess that helps reinforce in me like, yeah, I like that I'm taking a slower approach. I like that I'm taking time to forgive the pun, to deliver these things out, because then it's more authentic and then it's more honest. And then yeah, eventually maybe I'll get to the point where like, yeah, 1 month I'm just like, fuck yeah, let's do an EP, because I feel like I'm ready to rap about the reception I've had, or rap about like I have a song coming that I'm probably recording on Monday that I'm talking about like a weird fucking time when I was like 20 trying to G up with some marijuana. That was just like a hectic experience that I was like, yeah, I think it's time to like do a reflection of this and just like fucking go in about it. And I'd like, if I were to try to make this 2 years ago, I don't think I would have been able to do it. So I also hope that like as I'm making more music, I can unlock more songs.
Very solid points. Very solid points.
Yeah.
And thankfully you pointed those out, because I think that's missing in a lot of people's head right now. Thankfully you pointed those out. That definitely opened my eyes up very much. Thanks for sharing so much. It is.
Well, thanks for
I
having
had
me.
no idea.
This is my first interview actually. Well, actually,
that doesn't count.
Actually,
that doesn't count though.
I've been on my own show. I had the other. I asked for the other when I released my debut single. Yeah, it doesn't count. Yeah, no, it doesn't count. So no, this is the first one I've been on. I'm stoked to be on here. There's a lot of good shit coming out from your podcast. So yeah, I hope to hear a lot more artists coming from this now that I'm engaged in this awesome widespread community. It's a really cool thing. I think you have a great idea behind it. Like, yeah, I feel really happy I'm covering my local scene. Like, I love my local scene. I go see a gig, but as the point I made before, like you never know when you're going to be inspired by an outside source from wherever. And luckily, those hallmarks of like you can say like, oh, huge influences of these big bands. But when you can like mention someone else, like, yeah, I heard this track that really inspired me from an artist from Portugal, an artist from Birmingham, an artist from Texas, you know, like, and you can say that, and then they're on the same level as you, and you can connect and be like, hey, let's make a track. I like what you're fucking doing. Like, that's a really cool thing. You know, you're helping bring together a community to persist. And I think the worldwide and
Oh,
multi-topic
thanks. You make me blush, my
based
God.
around what you're doing is a good idea. So keep it up.
I mean, it's great what you're supporting. I love it. I love you're supporting, you know, not just the country, but also just the whole music scene. You know, a lot of the musicians I've never heard of. And no disrespect to y'all. It's not cause just cause of just where I am. It's just, you know, people don't talk about Australia like that. The only thing I've heard is just stereotypes about Australia, which we're not going to talk about because that's disrespectful. So I'm not going to.
No, well, you have an open mind about it, which is really cool. Like, uh, I listen to a ton of American artists, but like, I can't tell you a thing about what's happening in the Houston underground right now. Like, I can't tell you a thing about what's happening in whatever like other underground city right now. But you know, people got their finger on the pulse, and then there's exciting shit coming out there. There's got to be someone that knows about it, that wants to talk about it. And yeah, I think that you could, like, your show gives the opportunity to help connect those things together. So thank you for having an open mind about like that. Because I don't know too many artists that would want to be talking to too many podcasts that want to be talking to international artists. As like I don't have that much out. Like I have like 200 followers on Instagram, but like
Yeah.
I have a lot of things to say, as you know from my interview. So I hope that like it helps gives insight into the potential of other places and other scenes that you can really grasp into, because there's like, yeah, there's places that really make interesting sounds. And so if you just keep an open mind and get rid of those geographical barriers about like what type of music do they make there and just like wonder, then there's a whole lot of shit that you can find, just like subtitles in movies, you know, like Bong Joon-ho's movie Parasite won the Oscar of Best Film of the Year in like 2019, I think, like 2020. Yeah, I think it's 2019, and like that's like the first like foreign language film to win a Best Movie Oscar in I think ever. And so, you know, it's a sign to show that like luckily the internet can help like break down barriers and bring people together to a point where collaboration
for
and
sure.
art in its
And
forefront can really
That's
make
what
a huge
makes
difference.
that's what makes this amazing, unique, is that you don't really see a lot of it. I mean, I've seen shows where they only focus on one little thing. Well, you guys do, but that's a radio show. That's something different. That's like totally separate.
We're pretty niche,
Yeah,
and like
I mean that's
it
different.
hamstrings us because like we
People,
have a niche market.
I've seen them.
But,
I've
like,
actually seen a
we do
couple.
it
I
because
don't
we
like
love
them
it.
anymore, but they only focus on like one genre. They just focus on like either one genre or just like one section of the world. I'm like, why? Like, everybody deserves like a spotlight, and that's also, you know, that's also why, um, you know, earlier talking. That's also why, because people deserve to have their own spotlight. You guys don't get that, like where you guys work at or where your situations at. Like, a lot of people do not get, you know, spotlights or a chance to talk. Like, they don't get a chance to, you know, talk about themselves, or, you know, just, you know, talk about them or just focus on them. They're always focusing on other people. They don't get a chance to do that. Like, you know, every time that they come on here, I always let them talk. You know, I don't really let myself talk because, you know, it's about you. So, like, I let you. Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah,
look what happens
you've
when
been
you let
very
the other
kind
person
with the
talk for a while.
amount of
Like, look
time
what
you've been giving
happens.
me.
Like,
Yeah.
if people do that, then there wouldn't be these problems coming up.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the connection that people can share between just like the medium of music is a really strong thing, and like food and music, two beautiful mediums to communicate through. And like we go out to different cuisine restaurants every bloody week.
Cool, cool.
Why not try music?
Well, you definitely blew me away. So, my God, definitely a blow me. Oh, don't worry
Thank you for
about
your
it. I
time.
don't do much editing anyway,
I feel
so
bad
you're
if you have
lucky.
to for your editing.
Yeah, fuck editing.
Leave it
We're
free.
all
Leave it all in.
good.
We do it live, baby. Yeah, that's one thing that like it's kind of hard with the radio show is that like we just like I edit out like all the ums and ahs like
So
most
if
of the time,
someone
and we just
blows
like
fire
spend
on
like an
your radio
hour on like
show,
a 20
that's
minute
live.
interview.
They blow
Jesus,
fire.
your mind's going crazy. But no, because we pre-record now. So, but like other people can swear on the radio show. We can't. Like other people couldn't swear. So like we don't edit out swearing or anything. But like when we were on the show, like and we're doing it live all the time, like there was certainly like some fuck
Yeah,
ups, which was fun. But like it's just that's a part of the
for
thing. It's part
sure,
of the
for
business.
sure. And now you can call this
That's what
like your island or like
that's what it is
your
really.
sacred place. Like a lot of people always ask me, "Can you curse on here?" Or like, "Can I do this and that?" It's like this is your place. You can do whatever you want. Like you can strip naked even if you wanted to. Please don't though. I'm looking at you. Oh God.
Yeah, no, that's only with the camera off. That's for the high paying fans. No, the um yeah, I think that the the form of people expressing themselves shouldn't have to be inhibited by the language that they choose to say, whether that's in a different dialect or whether that's in like a just like a different form of expression. Like language can be carried through many different mediums, but yeah,
Yeah,
getting to talk about
of
your own shit
course.
for a long time is really fun and really satisfying
The
for me.
world
So I appreciate your time
makes it unfair for
and
people to
doing
really talk about themselves and to really have a time for them. So, at least they have this. At least they have this time. Just to talk about them for a while. Something. It's not like you get asked about your music or asked about yourself every day. You get like how you're doing or hi, but you don't really get you know, asked or you don't get to talk about, your music. Your music just gets set aside, which I hate. It gets set aside. It's just an equal playing field.
Mm. Well, that like I think that's why like the power of of media, underground media, has had like a really good resurgence recently. I know I'm speaking biasly, but it's because I feel it, and like a lot of these artists that we absolutely adore just like don't really get to have that channel to express exactly what they feel about the music or about like the scene or about like even their influences. And so even if we're just like a channel to help them get through it is a natural it can be quite a great process for the artist and a really rewarding thing. And like we really try not to, and you don't either. We really try on the show to not uh turn artists down just because like they're just like releasing a debut song, or like just because they're like um they're not like playing gigs right now or whatever. Like we reach out all the time, but nowadays like we're luckily like flooded with messages being like, hey, can I come on the show? Can I talk about this? It's because they clearly want to talk about it, and oftentimes like the media scene can be really imposing and can be really hard to actually find footing into, and even like some of the artists that would have a lot to share don't really want to reach out beyond just releasing it, because it's a tough thing to try to sell yourself. And so when you're busy playing gigs, when you're busy playing recording music or whatever, like it can be a really tough thing to just like get the extra step there so people can actually understand more context. And I'm doing a new series now that I'm developing to talk about like more about the history of the scene, as you can probably tell by all my ramblings into it. But like, yeah, I wish I had a place to keep as a touchstone, as well as say like a podcast like this, where you can be like, yeah, talk to that artist, get that reflection at that time, at that specific period. And a lot of that's due to that time, but a lot of it can be just due to like, you know, media is a hard place to find comfort in. A lot of the time they're in it for the blood. A lot of the time they're in it for like their own selves. And the brilliant form of podcasting as well allows you to pair the music and the audio together, so you actually get like and radio for that matter. Sorry. You get to pair the two together so that you can really understand the full essence of the artist. As much as I love written media, it can be really hard to appreciate that. Words are really great and can help you comprehend things wonderfully, but
and see, and
you know,
my God,
hearing it for yourself is a better thing.
You've opened my eyes so much. I don't know if it can take much wisdom anymore. It's really starting to seep in.
Yeah, no, I'm also feeling pretty wound out from the chat. I think, what's the time here? It's almost 1 a.m. here.
Oh
so
yeah,
I better sign off before
I forget at the time.
Desk.
It's weird. Australia, it's like 1,000 hours ahead of me. Oh my God, cannot believe you just said that, God.
I'm time traveling, baby. I'm reporting from the future here.
God.
Not much changes.
But again, I just want to thank you for your time. I really appreciate you. You made my morning worth it, even though it was very hard for me to wake up. You made it worth it. So, thank you for that.
Thanks for your time. Yeah, no worries at all. I hope you enjoy the coming work, and I'll make sure to report in what's happening next. Love to have another chat with you in the future. Hopefully it's a bit more refined.
Thanks, of
next
course,
time.
of
I'm
course.
just like spewing about everything else, but yeah, keep up the great work. You're doing
Of
awesome.
course. Any God, I can't even talk. Ugh. Any last words you'd like to say to the audience before we sign out?
Yeah, of course. So, Parlor EP, untitled thus far, untitled, unmastered. Now it's mastered. It's coming out August 19th. That's the date. It's pretty much set in stone. It's just depending on a couple of things. But yeah, there's an EP coming. My track that's unreleased that I'm going to be sending to Musically is my favorite track I've made thus far, and I'm really fucking keen for people to hear it. So I hope that you guys enjoy it as much as I have had listening to it the past few months. And that's going to be on the EP. And I have a lot of awesome producers hitting me up now that are keen to make more stuff. So yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of exciting things coming, but slowly and patiently, as much as I have been doing it thus far. Also, if you want to hear a bit more about the music I've talked about tonight, Emerge Radio Show, we podcasted as well. Hate to plug my show on your show, but if you guys want to hear a little bit more about like what Queensland's doing in the music scene and and see if you like any artists from out here. Then where the place to start, because there's a lot of things happening out here too. And yeah, just keep all your fingers on the pulses around you. And you know, if any of you guys have ideas that you want to pursue, say whether it be like photography, podcasting, design, or whatever, there's always a place for you to be, and there's many people that you can connect with to help build your skills, but also you can help them build their skills too. So collaborative process is the crux of what I've been leaning on in my artistic process, and I wouldn't be anywhere without collaborative process. So don't be afraid to reach out with what you have to offer either, because even if it's just
nice.
going
And hey,
to a show, that's a whole
feel free to plug the show. Feel free to plug your show. This is all about you, so no hard feelings. Yeah, of course, no problem. Again,
Thanks,
thank you. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure if you're in the area, to get yourselves prepared for the big party on the 18th. It's gonna be really good. I cannot go, but y'all make sure to send me lots of pictures, please. And look forward to his new EP coming soon, and lots more projects coming out. And yeah, thank you all again for watching. And if you guys like season 3, more interviews are coming soon, so get excited. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Time to sign out.
Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight as we dove into a wonderful podcast episode. Now, in this following segment, you will get a chance to hear this artist's showcase, because every artist that comes on the show requires to do a showcase. So buckle up, get some popcorn, and enjoy the showcase. I hope you guys love it, and check out the artist when you get a chance to. Hope you guys love it. Enjoy.
Tapping up this better heat, I'm trying to make this recipe, cause everybody asking for another fucking masterpiece. Now on the beat, bring it back into the boom bap. Other kids are asking where the rhythm at and lose at. Booze clapping, laughing, basking the action. Fatal attraction for the cause they lacking. I'm backing anyone that can try to do it better. Tell them holding my pie like they winning Mayweather. Now who got the cheddar? Who got the breed? Need a bit of blue cheese cause I'm hungry. I said who got the bars? Who got the beat? It's a place with Paula and Nylon beat. You know Paula beat. And why you gotta come back? He let you have your time, but your shit was whack. Watch me put it down later, bring it right back. Where the bass boom heavy and the beat goes smack. Who, what, where? Waiting instead. Why you making moves but you going nowhere? Said who, what, where? Waiting instead. Why you making moves but you going nowhere? Said who, what, where? Waiting instead. Why you making moves but you going nowhere? Said who, what, where? Waiting instead. Why you making moves but you going nowhere? Pausing for the moment, I'll be up and down with different things. Trying to pop a tip, but I'll be up and down with different strings. Leveling and keeping up and taking all your V-bucks. Fucking up the underground and turning into deluxe. My reflux is no fucks, all of it seamless. They say they ready, but none of them seen us. I'm drugs like I'm Dolly, I'm ISO like Carly. They want smoke, I roll up and pass out like Marley. I'm sick of the same shit, I sat waiting patient. This crowd is so pumping, this stage is so vacant. Now watch as I make this tourist into famous. I'm acting so selfish, I'm acting so shameless. Who, what, where? Waiting instead. Why you making moves but you going nowhere? Said who, what, where? Waiting instead. Why you making moves but you going nowhere? Said who, what, where? Waiting instead. Why you making moves but you going nowhere? Said who, what, where? Waiting instead. Why you making moves but you going nowhere?
Take time, look back into blue. You know they see right through you. Not screaming though I want to, trying to make it anew. Take time, look back into blue. You know they see right through you. Not screaming though I want to, trying to make it anew.
They say your working man's pay is a better next day. Baking up a little bread and then you pour it all away. I'm trying to stock it for some years like a doomsday prepper, but I'm shedding on my way, just trying to forget about a wine in the night. I ain't never about the caskets, drinking in the kitchen cause the shit is getting drastic. Trying to bounce back like it's elastic. Need to stop thinking you were so fantastic.
Take time, look back into blue. You know they see right through you. Not screaming though I want to, trying to make it anew. Take time, look back into blue. You know they see right through you. Not screaming though I want to, trying to make it anew.
It's getting a little hard just to recollect the place of the cause and the whole effect. When you marathon right into the final sweat, the weight keeps up building up in the chest. So you're breathing, the pain ain't easy. Losing the words, you're stuck there grieving, believing any old doubt that's around you. Inside of mind that knows to be true. Pulse just once when I felt the train. Never thought I'd be back to the windowless pain. I'm caught in the dough trying to bring in the grain, but I'm knocked right back when I hit the pain. Man, I ain't feeling a lot, but I still feel little. But I feel this pain could be transmitted, but I gotta hold it down, gotta be so true. Anything gotta be just to be with you.
Take time, look back into blue. You know they see right through you. Not screaming though I want to, trying to make it anew. Take time, look back into blue. You know they see right through you. Not screaming though I want to, trying to make it anew. Trying to make it anew. Trying to make it anew.
Yeah, she give me top like Beyblades. Middle finger to the guap and the naysays. God, I'm saying I'm the shit, but she don't say. Young queen in my city, I'm Beyonce. Yeah, she give me top like Beyblades. Middle finger to the guap and the naysays. God, I'm saying I'm the shit, but she don't say. Young queen in my city, I'm Beyonce. I'm Beyonce.
Spinning like Beyblade, trying to make the pay. Hey, loading up the presents like I'm on Santa's sleigh. Take a hit to the brain, feel a little Cobain, but I'm trying to stay silent, man. I'm trying to refrain. I'm adequate with pastures, I'm feeling right past you. Counting up the bills like I'm really still a cashier. Last year, so they wanna say this year. Man, we gotta make them pay. Take it out their hands and I make them do my dance. If they talk about rapping, man, they never stood a chance. I miss you to the land, said we killing like cancer. Thought I'd be dumb, but I'm with another stanza. Coming with the answers, coming with the truth. I'm not coming out the park, you can call me Babe Ruth. It's Phineas and Ferb when we come up with a scheme. Knock the name out your mouth with a bada bang.
Give me top like Beyblades. Middle finger to the guap and the naysays. God, I'm saying I'm the shit, but she don't say. Young queen in my city, I'm Beyonce. Yeah, she give me top like Beyblades. Middle finger to the guap and the naysays. God, I'm saying I'm the shit, but she don't say. Young queen in my city, I'm Beyonce. I'm Beyonce.
Yo, teeth gnashing, I'm the prodigal son. Want a feature for your ass, but you leave me with none. Leg hitting like a Icarus, too high from the fronts. See me burning off my wings, flying close to the sun. I got 45 on my side of my line. Cup of dime, bitch, I'm blowing words all on my this side. Clip side by side when I drink drive. Hitting grass all the time like a bovine. Paper 2-ply, looking too fly with my nice guys on your timeline with my tie-dye on. Whip a track till I begging like you let it die hard. Bring the heat up in the sauna, make you sweat it like this the new shit, damn, what's you talking about? What you the ones who you really trying to turn me down? Keep talking trash, you gon' make me pull the burner out. I push you out of the plane, now that's a falling out.
Top like Beyblades, middle finger to the guap and the naysays. God, I'm saying I'm the shit, but she don't say. Young queen in my city, I'm Beyonce. Yeah, she give me top like Beyblades. Middle finger to the guap and the naysays. God, I'm saying I'm the shit, but she don't say. Young queen in my city, I'm Beyonce. I'm Beyonce. Beyonce.
It's taking time to make the headlines. Thought it was all fine until I hit the rewind. Back in time, back into my own mind. The clarity's hilarity until it hit you straight right back to reality. Wanna be a man, but I'm acting so casually. Need to get older, but I'm stuck sanely. What's a man to me? Is it in the family? Is it just a millionaire looking over salary? Counting up his calories, fucking going to Mallory. Wife finds out he gonna be a casualty. Fuck the life, I don't even wanna see it. If this is a damn man, I don't ever wanna be it. Oh boy, where's your game? Are you trying to make the money or you trying to make a name? Oh boy, where's your game? Are you trying to make the money or you trying to make a name? Oh boy, where's your game? Are you trying to make the money or you trying to make a name? Oh boy, where's your game? Are you trying to make the money or you trying to make a name? Oh boy, man, it's good to see a friend. It's been a couple years trying to make some amends. Think about the times I was trying to make a stance, but I lost too much to take another chance. I see you we're the same, but it's really such a shame. Maybe looking in the mirror, man, I'm feeling so lame. I'm racking up the bills and I'm taking 12 pills just to try to get a sleep, sane, tame and so chill. Can't say I miss a grind, being high all the time, but I miss when it was simple, had the world on my mind. Until another time we can drink some fine wine. Maybe then I can try to rewind. Oh boy, where's your game? Are you trying to make the money or you trying to make a name? Oh boy, where's your game? Are you trying to make the money or you trying to make a name? Oh boy, where's your game? Are you trying to make the money or you trying to make a name? Oh boy, where's your game? Are you trying to make the money